Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. And in this video, we're continuing with counting down my 100 favorite movies of all time. This time we're in my top 50, so we're halfway through my list, and we're going to go through 50 through number 46 on my list, which in this bunch, I have actually 3 really great animation movies, some of my favorite here. An old classic and yeah, another great movie that I saw in the theater a while back. Anyway, so yeah, another great group of movies. Hopefully you enjoy it here on Jason the Old Millennial. Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing well here on a pretty late Friday night. It is getting pretty late now. And yeah, coming back with counting down my 100 favorite movies. Got through 50 of them, got 50 more to go. Yeah, and so it's been a couple weeks since I've gotten back to this. And so definitely want to keep this going so it doesn't take forever to get through these big lists that I do. But yeah, so starting off, we got maybe a movie that might surprise people a little bit that's this high on my list. It's probably this is my favorite animation franchise of all time, but I got Toy Story 4 here at number 50. Yeah, the 4th and last one that they've done. Saying this, I've heard that they're making it Toy Story 5. So this seemed like a really good finale to the series to me. I was like, and like I said, it's definitely the best franchise. I mean, 4 movies have all done really, really well. In fact, 3 of the 4 movies are in my top 100 favorite movies of all time. That's how great this franchise is. Spoiler alert, Toy Story 3 does not make it into my top 100 favorite movies. Yeah, a lot of people love Toy Story 3. It's their favorite movie. I don't know. I'm not as big a fan. It's a good movie, but it's not I don't like it as much as the other 3 Toy Stories. I think it's just because it seemed like a rehash of the second movie in a bit. It didn't have as much originality to it. But yeah, I was really surprised when they made this one because I thought the 3rd one was definitely the last one. It felt like a, ending to the story. We didn't really need any more. So when they said we're gonna do Toy Story 4, it was a little bit like, oh man, can they make I mean, they're playing with house money. They've done 3 movies that have been all very successful. It's hard to make 4 really good movies in the franchise, What if they make a bad movie? It's gonna kind of ruin the franchise a little bit, Is this just a cash grab movie? Because they know it's gonna make money because of the Toy Story franchises so beloved. So I was real skeptical of this movie, and then when I saw it, oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite in the series. I absolutely love this movie. Yeah, a lot of people I've talked to are like, this is the worst movie in the series, which is not saying a lot because all 4 of them are pretty good movies. So but a lot of people say this movie should never have been made, that they should have just ended with 3. And I'm kind of like, no, 4 is so good. I'm so happy they made a 4th one. It came out 2019. That was like the last really good year of movies that I went to the theater. Then after that, I kind of stopped going to the theater after, COVID hit in 2020. So I do have distinct memories, of this movie and other movies that year being like the last good time I had at the movie theater. Yeah, I was like, wasn't sure what to expect, to be honest. And it still came out with a great script, I think a great story, and absolutely hilarious. I laughed my head off in this movie. I love it. And what really I love about it is the new characters. Forky. Love Tony Hale's Forky. Love Forky. He's one of my new favorite characters. He has some of the best lines in the movie. I love how he waddles, because that's the only way he can walk. I don't know why. All of that's hilarious. How he keeps he wants to go back to the trash. That's where he came from, kind of. The whole him going to the trash and Woody stopping him. I love all that. It was great. Also, you got, I think, Bunny and Ducky, played by Key and Peele. Absolutely hilarious. Those 2 are hilarious, and it's so great to get them together to do these two characters. And then you got Keanu Reeves as it's like Kaboom, something Kaboom. Uh, Another great character. He was absolutely hilarious in this movie, and so many great bits and everything. Too much to talk about. Also, the story I thought was actually pretty good as well. I thought there was some emotional moments. I thought there's a twist with the villain. The villain does something that kind of like, wow, I didn't see that coming, and it kind of made me feel emotional for the villain, which I wasn't expecting. Also, there's a great, the finale though to me they did a good job. They felt like this was a good ending to the story of Woody and Buzz, one of the greatest, movie friendships of all time. They came from being rivals and enemies to being best friends, and this we kind of see them go apart, and it's very sad because you're like, wow, this is the ending of a very important franchise in my life. I saw the first one 95 when I was like 12 years old and was, anyways, I'll get to that at some other point, but going from Toy Story to Toy Story 4 in 2019, I mean, what we're talking about, let's see, talking about 24, 25 years later. Oh my gosh, and these characters are together again. We're gonna get another movie, so this isn't gonna be the emotional goodbye that it was at the time, but still, I really love this movie. I don't care what anybody says. One of my favorite movies at number 50, Toy Story 4. All right, number 49, we're gonna go in a completely opposite direction and go for one of the older movies in my top 50 probably, or my top 100. And I've talked about it on the channel actually before. It's one I really think if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. And it has the best years of our lives. Yeah, absolute classic. Big Oscar winner, won Best Picture in 47, I believe, or 46. 46, yeah. Won Best Picture 46. Directed by William Wyler, one of my favorite directors of all time. Directed like Ben-Hur, Mrs. Miniver. This movie won Best Picture 3 times with those 3. But yeah, this coming out in 46. Yeah, it's a good movie about. It's a very more dramatic movie about 3 soldiers coming home from World War II, and they're kind of 3 distinctive lives. They kind of meet on the plane going back home because they all live in the same city or town, whatever. And so they kind of meet and kind of like, hey, let's catch up, because they're all happy going back home, kind of. And yeah, Frederick March as the kind of the oldest of the soldiers, going back to his wife, Myrna Loy. I love Myrna Loy as well. Frederick March is a great actor who wins the Oscar for Best Actor for this role. In fact, his second one total. But you see how he has to go back to life with his wife and kids, and how difficult that is after going through the war and trying to go back to. It's all about soldiers trying to get back to normal life, and like, what does that mean? So it was the first movie to do that, to really show soldiers with PTSD and issues with coming back to the real world after dealing with war. So really groundbreaking for that time period. And then of course you got Dan Andrews here, and Teresa Wright. I love Teresa Wright. She's such a great actress, and so lovely. Like, you want to marry her. As soon as I see her in a movie, I'm like, man, I'd love to marry her. She's so sweet. But they, of course, you can see, start a romance, and she's the daughter of Frederick March's character. And so there's a good romance storyline with those two. And then one of the more emotional moments is Harold Russell plays Homer, who's not, you get to see on the back, played by not an actor, but a real World War II vet who lost his arms in the war, up to like the elbow. And so he's a real soldier who's playing a soldier who lost his arms in the war. And he has these kind of hook things for hands that he can grab onto things. And he's going back to, his family who's going to look at him different because he's got this disability. And everybody's, of course, looking at him because of disability and having to deal with that. And he has a fiance, and he kind of feels bad because, like, now she's going to marry this guy with 2 hooks for hands. And he feels like, it's not right for her to marry him. So there's a lot of self-doubt, but a lot of good emotional moments with that character. And he won a Best Supporting Actor for the role, which was really cool. since he wasn't a real actor, and this is the only role I think he ever did. So, anyways, but yeah, it's a very emotional movie. Like I said, it deals with PTSD and all that. Good romantic storyline. Overall, great performances, great story. Definitely check it out. I recommend it to anybody if you haven't heard of this one. Best Years of Our Lives. And number 49 on my list. Number 48 is a movie I saw in the theater and loved it as soon as I saw it. Still one of my favorite movies, and that is A Beautiful Mind, with Russell Crowe here at the lead, based on a true story of a math kind of genius. I'm forgetting. I'm trying to look at the name, but I forget the name of the real person. But yeah, based on a real person who came up with a like math formula theory that actually ended up being a big deal, I guess, and ended up earning him the Nobel Prize in, I don't know, mathematics or something, you know, one of the Nobel Prizes. So pretty big deal. Also, he was schizophrenic, and he had hallucinations, and he saw people that weren't there, and he had situations happen that weren't really happening. So he was having trouble figuring out what was reality and what was not reality. And that was true in real life. And Nash, I believe his name was Nash. Anyways, and so Russell Crowe, brilliant performance. I think my favorite Russell Crowe performance. And it's funny, he's coming right off of Gladiator. I mean, Gladiator, which was further down my list, which he wins best picture, he wins best actor for Gladiator, you know, and then he follows that up with this, I think, an even better performance and a better movie by Ron Howard. Ron Howard's best movie, in my opinion. And I went and saw this in theater, and I distinctly remember, going to the theater, and the only seats that were available was the front row. So I had to sit in the very front, which I hate sitting in the very front. I never sit that far. And this is before you had assigned seating. You just got whoever got there first. And I got there, and like it was packed. And I think I got there like maybe 5 minutes late or something like that. So the movie was already going on when I walked in. And so I had to get in the front, and I had to, like, you know, be way back and look way up, and like, man, it hurts your neck, hurts your eyes, because you're trying to, you know, follow what's going on the big screen. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is gonna be terrible. No, it ended up being a great movie experience. One of my favorite, most memorable movie experiences, because I just remember being so enthralled into the movie. I thought Russell Crowe's performance was so good. It has, you know, of course, obviously very dramatic moments of him, you know, dealing with his issues, disability, his mental disability that he has. And Russell Crowe just killed it. I thought he should have won Best Actor. He ended up losing it to Denzel Washington that year. And Jennifer Connelly wins the now Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. She gave a great performance as well as his wife. And no, it was very overall a very great story. You know, there's a love story in there. It's, you know, a guy trying to overcome a, you know, huge conflict in his life, you know, and can he get over this? Can he, you know, conquer this issue, which is with his brain? How can you conquer something that's, you know, something's wrong with your brain? How do you, you know? So I don't know, it's kind of inspiring, I guess, in a way, and very happy ending. A great ending. I love the ending. Definitely one of those gives you the feels, everything. And yeah, just, it had some humor in it too. I think it had a good dose of humor and drama. And just a really cool story. I think done very well. Great cast. Ed Harris also in here. First time I saw Paul Bettany in a movie, and I've never seen him in a movie before. And after this, he kind of blew up a little bit as an actor, and I always liked him a lot. Anyways, but yeah, James Horner score is great as well. But yeah, Beautiful Mind movie. I just still have almost nostalgia for, because when I saw it in the theater, I loved it so much. Anyway, so yeah, it's here at number 48 on my list. All right, funny enough, we just talked about Toy Story 4, and we're going to talk about another Toy Story movie in the same group. And so here's the original at number 47, Toy Story. Yes, just a little bit above Toy Story 4. It kind of goes back and forth for me. I love both movies so much. But I think overall I put this at 47, a little bit higher, just because the nostalgia factor is so huge on this. Because I remember seeing this in the movie theater when I said like 12 years old. It was like the perfect movie for me at that age. And it was the first, it's a groundbreaking movie first 3D animation, or what do you call it, computer animation, sorry. Not 3D animation, but computer. It's the first computer animated full-length film we ever got, and I never knew that was even possible. Like I didn't know that was something that was going to happen. I was fine with 2D animation. I didn't know there was anything else. There was anything else for a long time, and I'm a big fan of 2D animation. And this is not only just it was very early stages. Not all the characters, like the human characters, looked a little weird. They didn't quite perfect how to do human characters yet. But it was such a groundbreaking kind of movement of because it seemed like after this, everybody started making computer animation. Pixar was the kind of the innovator, the first ones to do it. And then DreamWorks came along with the Shrek movies and Ants, I guess. But then the Shrek movies was really popular in the early 2000s. And also Disney Animation started in mid-2000s, started making their own computer animated movies, and those were doing well. So pretty soon everybody was doing it, and you never saw 2D animation anymore. So this definitely changed animation and movie history. To me, it's just one of the most groundbreaking historical movies I've ever seen. And it's so cool to be there and see it and go, wow, that was a game changer. Not only that, it's a really good movie. I think it's one of the best scripts ever written. It flows so well. What's the word? Flow is the best word I can think of at the moment. But, never a dull moment. From beginning to end, just one great moment after another. Just a great premise too. I love the whole premise of the toys have their own society when we're not around, and I love that they have this whole community. They have even speech, or they have like a leader, and Woody is kind of like the leader of the group, and they organize events and stuff in their community and have lectures on different stuff, and they have meetings. It's like, I don't know, that was such a cool idea. But then the whole rivalry between Buzz and Woody is really what makes the movie. Cowboy, sci-fi, two big genres in the world, going head to head. Buzz is such a great character as well. You got Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, so good in those two main parts, and just a crazy good cast. With John Ratzenberger and Don Nichols, Wal Shawn, Jim Varney. Great cast of voice actors. Really, and a lot of just great characters. I love all the characters. Love Rex, how neurotic he is. One of my favorite characters in the movie. And then Mr. Mateo Head is very, insulting, just like Don Rickles is in real life. So great casting there. But they all have they're all funny in different ways. As characters, they work really well. And then just there's this buddy comedy with Buzz and Woody that they get separated and then they have to try to find their way back. There's a great adventure kind of story there. And then there's this great moment where Buzz, who thinks he's a real space ranger, doesn't know he's a toy, doesn't understand that concept. And then that moment when he sees a commercial about him as a toy, that, I don't know, it's just one of the great emotional moments of that movie. It gets me when I see it, and it's like, and you realize it's like, oh my gosh, I'm a toy. I'm not a real space ranger. I'm not the Buzz Lightyear. There's other Buzz Lightyears out there. Oh my gosh, that self-realization with the Randy Newman music about flying, and he jumps, and because he thinks he can fly, and he realizes he falls and realizes he can't fly, and he's not Buzz Lightyear. He's just a toy. Man, just a great moment in the movie, and in any movie. One of the great moments, one of my favorite moments of the movie. The music was great too. Overall, the music was really well done. It's a funny movie. Like I said, story-wise, just a really well done story. Even dealing with toys, great ending. That whole ending part where they're trying to get to the group as they're moving the moving trucks because they're moving to a new house, and how they're trying to get there, and then all these setbacks. Just really well directed, well written, scripted, acted movie. One of the greatest animation movies of all time, and also a first of its kind. So yeah, it's here at number 47, Toy Story. All right, to round out my five, for this video, we're going to another animated movie, the third one on this one. And yeah, I put this a little bit above Toy Story. As much as I love Toy Story, this is another movie that really blew me away, and that's Tangled. One of my all-time favorite Disney animation movies. And really was kind of a movie that, I don't know what they call it. They call it the revival. I don't know, it's called the revival period. I forget the different eras. There's different eras of Disney, you know. But this really started off like a new era of Disney, and this is the 50th movie too, which I think is kind of cool. It's the 50th movie in the Disney canon anyways. And there's a cool like little montage of all 50 movies up to this point. Now we got like 63 or something like that, 62 because I'm starting that series as well. But man, yeah, this is another one because I remember at the time thinking Disney animation was not that good at the time. I forget the couple of movies before this I was not the biggest fan of. And so I thought that, and they kind of went away from the musical. I loved that in the 90s, late 80s into the 90s. All those movies are great because I love the music. They got, you know, really good. In fact, I think Minkin does this one as well. Yeah, Minkin does this one as well. Minkin is like the genius behind a lot of the great musicals. You know, him and Howard Ash, whatever I believe his name is. You know, starting with The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. And then I think they maybe did like Pocahontas, and I don't know if they did Mulan and Tarzan. No, they didn't do Tarzan, but maybe they did Mulan. I don't know. They did a bunch of those. And so it's kind of cool to have Al Minkin come back and do the music for this. And like I said, they weren't doing musicals, and then they come out with and it's a Disney princess. I mean, I felt like this is, of course, Rapunzel. And we've done like all the great Disney princesses, and then we haven't done Rapunzel. And so they come up with this Rapunzel story, which I thought, oh, it's great. We're getting back to Disney princesses, which is so, you know, huge for Disney. They do so well with, you know, the Snow Whites and the Cinderellas, and, you know, even you can say Little Mermaid, or, you know, Belle from Beauty and the Beast, or, you know, just iconic princesses, or Jasmine from Aladdin. All great, you know. You love all these, you know, even go back to Sleeping Beauty, you know, you can go on and on. So this is cool to get this story. I thought it was such a, it blew me away. This is one where I was like, I didn't have any expectation, didn't know if it'd be any good, really had nothing, didn't really think much about it. And then when I saw it, it blew me away. I was like, wow, this is way better than I ever expected to be. Like I said, it's number 46 on my list. I think it's still just an amazing movie. I love Rapunzel, such a great character, naive, hope, she's full of hope, such a, you know, likable character. And then mix that with Flynn Rider, one of my favorite also characters ever in Disney animation, who's somewhat arrogant, I guess. He thinks more of himself than he probably should. Like how good looking he is. Like, give me the smolder, you know. Like, I love the smolder. Such great stuff. And their dynamic is so good because, again, they are kind of a bit of a tension between them. Two different people. And then I thought the love story was done so well. One of the best love stories I've ever seen. And there's been so many great love stories in Disney. And this, to me, is one of the best ones where I watched it and I really kind of believed these two characters fell in love. I thought they did such a good job of because I've seen some movies where I'm like, okay, it seemed a little fast. It didn't seem like they had that great chemistry. It seemed like they just fell in love because that's what the movie needed them to do. This, it felt genuine. The evil, like, you know, adopted mother that she had, a good villain character as well. Of course, you got the horse, had some good fun. I love frying pans, who knew? So many great lines throughout the movie, and also the music. The music is fantastic. At last we see the light. That moment with, they're on the boat and they're singing that duet, great duet. And then you got the lanterns lighting up the scene. Beautiful animation with the incredible romantic song playing. Them looking at each other, singing this romantic song about "At Last I See the Light." Man, just an incredible moment that I remember seeing that first time and just like it's one of those moments you see a movie. I don't know if anybody has this, but if I watch a moment that really is amazing, I just like, something inside me just like warms me up and like gives me goosebumps. I'm like, oh my gosh, that was such an incredible moment. I have to watch it again. I usually have to rewatch those scenes again. Once I get the DVD, I'm like, I gotta see that scene again. It was so great. Yeah, so yeah, music, that got nominated, should have won best song. It was such a good song. And then the ending surprised me. I wasn't sure where this ending was going. Obviously, he knew he was going to get the girl and they're going to defeat the enemy. Obviously, that's going to happen, but the way they did it, I was not expecting it. And so I commend the movie for surprising me in how they defeat the villain and how they get together. And just the overall love story is so nice and sweet. And they get together at the end, and it's, oh, it makes you feel good. It's one of those movies that just makes you feel so good. But yeah, great combination of great storytelling, great comedy, great music, great ending. That's why Tangled's here at number 46 on my list. All right, that's my 50 through 46. Please feel free to comment on what you think about these movies. Are they in your top 100? Please let me know. I'd love to read your comments. Besides that, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for liking it. And thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate you all, and I hope you have a good day.